Am I not doing like the thing that I love? Because why?
I look at failure as a necessary part of reaching success.
We also are so much further than where we started.
The patriarchy needs to go.
I feel like that's my purpose.
There are certain risks that come with becoming more successful.
Yeah, then all that goes out the fucking window.
Please don't break up with me.
I must have been more afraid of the success than the failure.
The why never went away. It just transformed. Did you take your vitamins today, by the way?
I didn't, and it just reminded me.
Your solar
that
vitamins?
No, I forgot. I need to take them, but it's okay. It's still like, what time is it? We have a discount code they gave us.
We do. We'll drop it in it's the naked room. Just all caps, like we're screaming at you. The naked room.
The naked room.
The naked room. We'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah,
but
I think it's like
20% off.
20%.
20% off. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
No dress code, no rules, just BYOU. It's time to tell society that it's a taboo. You can be the youest you here in the naked room.
If you had to pick one, do you think you're more afraid of success or failure? Usually, and it's interesting, I know I just asked, but this came from, I wrote this recently, and Anna was talking about how much she was afraid of success. And so I was like, that's an interesting topic to discuss, because I think it was Phil Stutz in one of his books that talks about people being either afraid of one or the other. Like,
Yeah.
you're either going to sabotage yourself because you're afraid that you're going to become too successful and you're not going to know how to deal with it, or you don't feel deserving of it, whatever it is, or you're afraid that you're going to fail and look stupid or, like mess everything up.
I thought about this a lot after our conversation with Anna because it resonated with me. I definitely related. Thinking about, like, especially when she was saying, like, she's not buying her bullshit anymore, like all the excuses we give ourselves, like, why, not to do something, and I have been thinking a lot lately about like music and that path. And I feel like I want to say, oh, I'm afraid of failure because deep down, that does feel like something like that does in a job scenario, for instance. Like I never want to let somebody down or disappoint them. And so I attribute that to being failure. But when I really dig into it and think about, like today, I think I was telling you earlier, we're recording this on Ash Wednesday. My friend Mary was saying that she was raised Catholic. She's like, it's a good day to look back on the things that have held you back. Not necessarily in a depressing way, but in order to give credit to it and move forward so that they can kind of, move to the wayside. And I did some thought on that. I sat and kind of like meditated with it. And I feel like with music, especially if you think about like when Nana was talking about promoting her record, I was like, yeah, when I have done 2 records, and both of them, if I really look at the way that I handled it, I think I must have been more afraid of the success than the failure, because I didn't promote them. And I my first one I released like on my drive leaving the city. Like most people would have like stayed in LA and toured it and, done a release show. And I was like, I'm just going to release it on my way to leave LA, like just like a mic drop almost literally. And then the second one I released during COVID, which did feel a little more calculated because I knew that it wasn't going to be a great time to obviously promote music or like go out and play shows. But I felt really deep down like people needed music then. Like I was like, this seems important. It seems important not to wait for my own, success. But I guess all of that to say, like failure is something that's familiar to me. Like I obviously have failed at things if I am looking at it on paper compared to like what I wanted it to be and what it turned out to be. So it's an interesting thing to think, like why would we be afraid of success? I don't feel like it's because I wouldn't know how to handle it. But I do think there's some element I haven't really cracked yet about myself as to why I would kind of self-sabotage getting further and bigger and brighter than I am. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Well, there are certain risks that come with becoming more successful. Your
Yeah.
life changes. The people in your life who you love could potentially fall off because things have changed so much. I mean, there are a lot of, with failure, there are certain things that are very scary. It's a vulnerability thing with failure. It's feeling like you've lost at something, and that's really hard to swallow sometimes. That's a hard pill to swallow. But with success, like, you have to be prepared for the negative feedback or the negative reactions, because people are inevitably going to be envious of what you've created, or they're just not going to like you. Especially like if you put yourself out there, that's one of the risks that you take. So I think that's part of what's so scary about success.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
feel like
projecting because that's how I kind of look at it. But
yeah.
keep going.
When you say that, I'm like, well, haters doesn't really, I think I've dealt with that my whole life because I've been kind of an oddball, you know, like I never really did try to like get in line. I was always like dressing weird and like, you know, I was like the girl who played guitar and everybody's like, what? Like, you know, why don't you cheerlead or something? Like it just, I've dealt with that enough that it doesn't seem, I say that I haven't had it obviously on like a huge scale, you know, where it's like a headline that's like Jamie Lynn sucks. Like, you know, like shit. Like, but I think as you're saying that, I'm like, okay, that's definitely not something. But when you talk about like, you know, things changing, I can see that being something that, like, you know me, I need a lot of downtime and a lot of like, I need a lot of not even downtime, but I need a lot of like introspective time. And I like my schedule to be on my own terms because of that, because I'm like, I'm big on, you know, do I feel up to that today? Like, do you know, like I'm trying to like be better about listening to my body. And there probably is an element of being afraid of getting so big or recognizable that I don't have autonomy anymore. I don't like to be inauthentic. I don't like to feel like I have to like be on for something, you know, like just because. And I guess like success comes in all different forms and shapes and sizes and flavors and all of that. So it's not necessarily, doesn't mean that that is something that, you know, I'm going to say we, because I'm going to assume it's this podcast that creates these big problems for us. But I think that what's the actor, like I relate a lot to he was in Game of Thrones, and there's this story about how like in order, like when he got the role for he'd been in some other things, I can't even remember, was he played the Hound maybe, and when he got the role for Game of Thrones, like his agent couldn't even get a hold of him because in between acting and gigs, he's like out living on his boat in the middle of the ocean with no cell phone. And I'm like, that's what like that sounds wonderful to me. So I feel like there's an element of that where it's like, yeah, does success mean that your time is not your own, I guess, is like the big thing. So maybe there's a part of me that's kind of sabotaged myself behind the scenes on occasion because I'm like, oh, that might mean that then I have to be beholden to this thing that people expect of me. And I would rather stay small and have my own, like my life be my own.
I mean, look at Bon Iver. Like,
yeah,
he's an example. I think that's the freedom. There's the other side of success where you get the freedom to decide what you want to do with your time in your life. Because if you are like, you know what? People are calling me and they're offering me a bunch of money to go do this thing, but what's more important to me at this point?
Yeah.
Is it going and being on my boat in the middle of the ocean? I feel like I have enough abundance right now and I'm going to go and do that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I think really big, like you do too. and I dream really big. Sometimes, actually, it's funny because I feel like I don't dream as big as I probably should sometimes. But when I am having these dreams of like, talking about being in my green suit on a stage or whatever, and I don't know why that's happening or where that's happening or for what reason, but
it's happening.
But it'll happen.
I see it now too. 'Cause we've talked about it so much.
We've talked about it so much. It's happening at some point, but I realize that I do the same thing that you're talking about, where I'm like, okay, I feel tired a lot as it is, just being a woman who is most likely perimenopausal and going dealing with a bunch. We've all been talking, all of our girlfriends have been talking about this a lot lately, but just dealing with a lot of different hormonal changes and things that we kind of just take on and deal with because we think that it's normal, which technically it is normal. All of the hormones that we have in our bodies are normal, but but having to go through being like kind of miserable or being like super tired, like exaggerated way, makes me contemplate the same thing you're talking about, where I'm like, okay, if I have one of those days where I just need to sleep in one morning, but somebody's asking me to do something like get up earlier than I would like to, or than my body wants to, I'm like, how much of that do I actually want to do? And so I think it's pretty easy for me to say that out of the two, my bigger fear is definitely what might change because of success. But now that we're talking through it, I'm like, yeah, like you work hard to get to where you're going, but then once you get to whatever the end destination is or wherever that place that you want to be as far as like what your definition of success is, I think you do have a lot of choices.
Well, and I think that there's also the other side, like the possibility that having success via something that you really enjoy doing, like that really brings you joy, gives you more energy. And like I think about that a lot. Like right now, I'm not somebody that likes to like stay up past 8:30 p.m. But right now, I'm a person who wakes up and takes care of chickens and dogs and plants and is contemplative and introspective, and I'm not practicing my creative arts as much as I probably should or want to. If I was doing that, then maybe I would be, like that would feed the energy and I would be, able to stay up late and like sleep in.
Let me give you a scenario. Let's dream really big.
Oh, I love it.
Let's imagine. Okay, let's say it's 2 years from now.
Yep.
We have gotten to whatever place that we want to get, and we're like getting these great guests, and we're having these conversations, and we're feeling really good about the direction that things have taken. And we're asked to go to a bunch of different award shows. We're asked to go to go to speaking engagements. Like people are literally like, you all are the ones that we want, and we're gonna pay you $50,000 each to come and speak at this thing, which for some people is actually that's lowball. But for us at this stage in our game, we're like $50,000 for a day. Holy shit! Okay, we'll think bigger.
I gotta go to my mom's and shit myself. I'm running behind like the Graham's Chinese Theater. Hold me back! I gotta find some wilderness. What did you say you were going to pay us?
You find one little tree with like grass around it. You're like,
it's like a fake tree in the middle of like the. Hold on.
Exactly.
Like, does anybody have a leaf?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're paid to go do.
It's requiring you to travel. It's requiring you to stay up past 8:30. It's requiring you to be present and in the same, be in the presence of a lot of people, and
Mhm.
you're in demand at that point,
Yeah.
but it's for something that feels really good. At least I think it does. I hope. I love having these conversations with you. So please don't break up with me. But
We're in it forever.
but in that case, because it's just such a good practice to be like, okay, I'm gonna put
Already in
myself-
my body, I'm like, oh yeah, then all that goes out the fucking window. Like, you know, like I
Yeah.
already feel like excited. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like I envision you and I, like, you know, doing something like that. Like we're doing some sort of speaking engagement or appearance where we're able to like champion the women in our life and this
Yeah.
podcast and what it represents, and be, you know, God, I'm even saying this. How's it coming out? A voice for the voiceless. Ew. but that's what I mean. So there it is.
Well,
but like, I feel that and I see that and I think about like, yeah, like is there's such a high from that?
yes.
Because this to me is so similar to like performing music, you know, because you feel, at least I feel personally when I do that, it's like I'm doing something that brings me joy, both physically and emotionally. And I can see it, you know, sometimes it doesn't bring people joy, sometimes it makes them sad, but it helps evoke emotion out of people, which, you know, I'm a big believer in like people
Yeah.
feeling their feelings. And it's like, I feel like that's my purpose on this planet, is to like help people feel their
Yeah.
like feel what they feel. And I think that what we do does that. And so it brings me kind of the same feeling. And with knowing that, then yeah, like we would be up in our hotel room until 4:00 in the morning being like, and then like I talked to this person after and they said they were affected this way. And then they had this cool story where this and that. And it would just be like this like vibrant energy that all of a sudden, you know, but then I would wake you up at like 6 a.m. to go get coffee because I still am a morning person, and you would be so pissed at me. And then we'd be like, okay, we cannot have the same hotel room. Why did we do this? Separate hotel rooms for now.
Wow, you've thought about this too, like the macro level.
Yeah.
Micro level. Yeah, it's like
the macro
even
level. Yes. And I planned our meals to make sure that they had enough macros.
Yeah, you're thinking about all the little details. I love it.
You wake up, I'm steaming your green suit. Good morning, Kelly. The sun isn't even up.
Actually, we have separate rooms, but we choose to stay in the same one.
It has the door in between. We're at they offered us like, you know, the Ritz, and we were like, we'll stay at like the Hampton, whatever one has like the adjoining door. No hate on Hampton.
Yeah, no,
but hate on Hyatt because like apparently they're CEOs involved in the Epstein files.
Oh, who isn't at this point?
I know, it's true. It's like
it is a little overwhelming.
It's too overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, but also, I mean, the patriarchy needs to go.
Yeah.
So, bye. We're coming in with the matriarchy.
Yeah. It's time for us to let us try. Let's try. Let's have a trial period.
Yeah.
If
let's have a
things
trial.
don't get better in the next 6 months, then sure.
I think we need to give ourselves like 2 years because it takes a long time to build, like do all the building blocks. But we've been doing this for a while. Like we've been behind the scenes kind of doing this for a while.
Yeah, we're ready. And also I feel like, you know, what would take a man 5 to 7 business days?
You're right. Right.
Let's
2.
be honest. Yeah.
2 days.
Max.
2 days for us. Yeah, exactly. Even though we have smaller brains than men, you know, it's like somehow we've made it through. Yeah.
How have we done it? How have we made it this far with such tiny brains?
I don't know.
Congratulations.
I'm just a tender little lady.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be existing.
I mean, gosh.
And living for my husband.
Have you seen the Amy Poehler Good Hang episode with Jennifer Lawrence? And she's Amy's like, you know, like what I really love about you is that the way that you present yourself, like in interviews and things, it's like you can tell by the way that you talk that you really love women. Like you love to like, you know, champion women.
It's the girl's
and she's
girl.
like, what do you think? I just love white men. Like,
Yes.
it's like, I just want to be their champion. They've had it so hard.
I was on the stair machine. I mean, shocker. I was on the stair machine when I listened to that episode, and I was just like,
So
yeah. Like, I
good.
think I almost fell off.
It cracks
Because
me
I was
up.
like, yes, yes. But I love what you're saying about your whole purpose. I have been thinking, and I was telling you about this today too. I've been thinking about my why, like my why statement a lot recently. And mine, there's one part of it that's exactly what you're talking about with like getting people to step outside of just, like basic small talk and not thinking beyond whatever that conversation they're in at the moment. Whatever. It's important to me for people to have real, honest, open conversations, especially right now. We're in a time where people are asking a lot more questions about the purpose of life and what am I even doing here? What's my bigger purpose? But my other why, the thing that complements that is when I was at Red Bull, I was in a position of being able to give people opportunities. And I was able to hire a lot of photographers because we were working with 12 different regions around the country and hiring people for different events and stuff. And that made me feel I was in such gratitude to be able to be in that position to give people opportunities, because I feel like, and I think you're kind of like this too, where there haven't been like any major like big breaks in my life. It's been like these incremental steps. And I don't feel like very many people have taken a chance on me. And so I want to do the opposite. I want to be able to give a lot of people chances and give people, like there's photographers out there who were dying to work for a brand like Red Bull, dying to work for Red Bull. And to be able to hear
make
them
that happen.
and make that happen that's a pivotal moment for some people.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, when I left my job, I wasn't able to hire people anymore. I wasn't able to fulfill that part of my why. But then you and I built this starting like 7 months ago. And obviously we didn't put anything out until 4 months ago, but it took a while.
Has it been 7 months?
Yeah, like end of July or something.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of preparation involved. But that's my intention now with this too. Like the why never went away. It just transformed from one thing to another. Or the way that it's being implemented transitioned from one thing to another. And like having somebody like Anna on, who's an indie music artist and who is getting some cool placements. Like she just had her one song on Love is Blind, and these people were like, what is this song? I can't figure it out. And then she got that beautiful message from someone being like, your song is healing me. And I'm like, I want to grow with people like that who are a catalyst for positive change, like through their music, their art, whatever it is. But I also want to be able to elevate people who are doing these beautiful things, but aren't necessarily getting the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah, I feel that. Especially now, it's like, I was just talking to somebody today about this via like, or, in relation to like the job market and how everything's just so oversaturated. And it's the same in the, in the field of the arts, I guess, like a musician, a podcast host, like whatever it is, everything from every angle right now feels so saturated with with so much AI. That's a whole nother tangent to get on, but that it's really hard to stand out in a way that if, unless somebody is representing you or throwing your hat in the ring, or, like somebody has already like climbed up, a few rungs and they're reaching down to like help you, because it's not like it used to be. Like, I know that we say that about so many things, but it really is just like, it feels like if we don't do that for each other, then we're all just going to be spinning our wheels. And I definitely, it felt so good, to like be able to, even, on our tiny little platform, but our growing platform, like to be able to be like, okay, like I hope that, the eyes and ears that wouldn't have been on Anna had she not come on are now hopefully like turned in that direction. And the same for future guests, and the same for, just like for topics of conversation, for like whatever it is that we can represent and just like bring to the surface a little bit that normally would just get kind of stampeded underneath all of the other issues and topics and people, and
Yeah.
it's important.
Well, I've been thinking a lot lately about some of the most popular podcasts too, and a lot of it is celebrities who started podcasts who are interviewing their celebrity friends. And I'm like, you guys, you're all just propping each other up and you don't need more propping. Like,
Right. How high can you go?
how high can you go? We've all heard the same conversations over and over again. It's a formula. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like the formula is formulating.
Formulating?
The formula.
Yeah.
The formula is doing its thing. And
it's vibing.
And it doesn't benefit people who don't already have a big platform.
Yeah.
And so my intention is to try to break through that and to say fuck it and work as hard as I'm going to bring you with me as we fucking can to be able to implement a change with that. Because I'm like, there are a handful, and you and I have talked about this, there are a handful of celebrities who we were like, it would be cool to have them on for a conversation. And it's not because they're a celebrity, it's because of the things that they do outside of being a celebrity.
Shout out Pamela Anderson.
Shout out Pamela Anderson and her pivot. And it's just so...
The queen.
Yeah, she's our queen. We love her, and we love that she gardens, and there's a lot of things that align that we could talk about outside of all the things that people know about her already. But other than that, I'm like, no, I want to continue to talk to people who don't have a big platform and have something really cool going on. I feel so adamant about this. But
I feel you. No, you should feel adamant about it. I think that we're approaching it hopefully in the right way, because I don't feel like our platform, unlike some, isn't going to be built on the fact that like, we somehow nailed some really big celebrity and it got us a bunch of views for this one episode. Like, I think that the viewership and the followers that we're building are really genuine, and it's growing at a rate that's really like accessible. And our platform, because of that, I hope will be, it's going to be made of steel, and we're going to have room on it for other people. It's not going to be like the door in Titanic where there's only room for one. So
we just watched Titanic.
You did?
Yes. Why could she not?
We'll never let go.
There?
For real.
No. Kate, we love you. That's another. I would love to have a conversation with Kate Winslet, but also I want to know why you didn't let Jack up on the door. You didn't try very hard. It could have worked. It was
got to be
enough.
up there in one of like the world's most debated.
I'm sure it
topics.
is. That's a face palm if I've ever seen one. Ugh. Jack was so cute in that.
Threw
Anyway.
that necklace into the ocean. Do you know the things that we could have, the funding that we could have given to other people with that diamond? Whatever it wasn't a diamond. Ruby? No, it wasn't a ruby.
It was a sapphire? The heart of the ocean?
It was blue.
Yeah. There are blue diamonds, I think, but yeah, I think it was a sapphire and had diamonds around it.
Oh, yeah.
It was priceless. It's priceless. I like that. I like that we just watched it within the last couple months too.
That's so funny. I saw that in theaters with my mom.
I saw it twice in the theater, I think with Laura both times. Yeah, I guess also, obviously, whenever you and I have these conversations, we're speaking to each other, but we're also speaking to anyone else who's listening. And we challenge you to contemplate whether or not you're more afraid of success or failure and how that might be holding you back from something that you really hope to achieve in your life. It definitely kind of holds people back in general. Like it afflicts a lot of stagnancy. And yeah, I guess there was something else that I wanted to bring up in that too, because you made a lot of really good points. But yeah, and like, you know, you're gonna get a joint.
I made more points.
Yeah, you win. That was a 3-point shot. Yes.
Just kidding. I think no. I mean, I get what you're saying. My thought with that was that it's very important to ask yourself those questions and know and recognize, check in with yourself, I guess, to see like it. You know, am I not doing like the thing that I love? Because why? And then also, I think you and I talk so much about making that platform so that we can help other people. And that really, it does drive you. I don't think you think of that. Like you, I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but like humble little small town West Virginia. It's like, I don't ever think like, oh, I could do something that then I would have the power to help other people do that. But we could, and we are. And we can, and we will. And that is a really good why. Like that sits really well with me to be like, if I'm going to be so, you know, self-sabotaging or whatever to not do it for myself, then okay, take that off the table. Like then do it for other people. Like do it for the fact that like have the bravery to try and fail and succeed and whatever it is, so that the thing that you enjoy, admire, create, you know, bring to the table can inspire someone else. Anybody can see a celebrity do a podcast and be like, well, yeah, obviously, like they have everything at their fingertips. Like that's probably not that hard, but hopefully not just the world of podcasting, but using this for an example, hopefully if there's somebody out there who was, you know, has thought, oh, I might want to do a podcast, has seen this and been like, oh, Kelly and Jamie Lynn, Joe Schmoes, nobody knows, they've done it. So if they can do it, then you can too.
Yeah. You just get Riverside and a good microphone.
Yeah. And we're happy to, you know, answer questions about it. You know, I think that's the thing too. Don't feel so small that like you feel like you don't have anything to contribute. Just for most people, just doing the thing and starting is a bigger contribution than most people can say that they're able to make, because they get so stunted by the fact of trying something new. So we, you know, put the work in and did trial and error, and we're very far from being, you know, in a place where we like see that it can go, but we also are so much further than where we started. So we have that information and that like to contribute to anybody who feels like it would be beneficial. We can be your pod moms. We can be your pod, your fun auntie, your fontie, your pod fontie. Yeah, because we're not having children. But the podcast is kind of our baby. The podcast is our baby. This is our little pod. You know, it's nice. It doesn't wake us up in the middle. Sometimes there are things, it does. Yeah, there are things where I'm like, wait, did I do that thing? It keeps you up at night. Yeah, keeps me up at night. But you're definitely, if this was a baby, you're definitely, I don't know. Are you like the stay-at-home mom who's taking care of the baby, and I'm like the dad or the breadwinner? Or are you the breadwinner because you're putting in a lot of the work, and I'm like the stay-at-home mom? No, I feel like the dad who just shows up for dinner sometimes and is like, Did you do your homework? You have 6 chicken children. Yeah. So you take care of them too. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Oh, man, that was a fantastic discussion. It was great. I really like that. And I'm glad that that's what we talked about, because that's been on my mind a lot since our conversation with Anna. It's like the fear of success. It's just so, I was like, I felt like that's probably what both of us, that would be our downloads. Like that would be our input. I think I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't really want to fail, obviously, but I look at failure as a necessary part of reaching success. Yeah. And it's like just one more little tangent, but if I go back to like starting Hey Y'all, for instance,
Like I was pigeonholing myself again unknowingly when I
Yeah.
decided to start that, but it didn't really work. Like I was working really hard and like putting my name out there and all that, and it didn't, like, whatever I created didn't really work in the way that I expected it to. And I was actually, once I came to terms with it, I was like, good. That means that the first thing I started didn't work and we've got that out of the way. So
Yeah.
that was because most first businesses don't work. So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. So the next thing that I do has a better chance of actually working.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. It's like you had to, like, you know, when you're like learning to ride a bike and you like you fall for the first time, and then you're like, okay, I'm not that afraid of the
Yeah.
fall now because, you know, it was so unknown, but then you do it and you're like, all right, it's not that bad. Like I can survive that fall
Yeah.
and keep trudging on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The ripping the Band-Aid off component. And if you can start to look at things like that, and it was actually Anna, I think, that had a post one time where it said something along the lines of, if you knew that 50 no's would then end up turning into a yes, like on the 51st thing that you asked for, you would end up getting a yes. Wouldn't you be excited to go and get all of those no's, knowing that there would be a yes on the other side of it?
It's so
And I was
true.
like, yeah, the only thing missing there is the known. So all we have is the unknown component. But anyway, that's never going to go away. There's always going to be unknowns. So once you can learn to face it down and move through, then you're going to be able to get through almost any circumstance.
If you're listening, share it with someone. Then we have more people.
Yeah, exactly. Share it. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Give us a 5-star review everywhere.
The Naked Room podcast is brought to you by hot coffee, cold showers, grit and determination, the power of being a woman.
We'd like to thank ourselves. This is a self-run operation. We have done all of this on our own, other than with the help of our hot sound guy, my husband, Curtis Keeper, who curated all of our equipment and got us up and running.